Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Darshana's chat show. This is Reflections with Darshana, and sorry to keep you waiting. We normally meet at 8 p.m., but today was a very busy schedule for me, and that's why we are late. Apologies for it, and we really appreciate that you've been waiting for me. Today we have a guest, and he's multi-talented personality. His name is Sumit Gupta, and he's a property surveyor. He has written books, and more about him. Just like you, I'm as excited to know more about him in this few minutes that we are going to be here. So make sure you stay logged in, and there are going to be some very interesting questions about property, and which everybody is interested in property, and we all have a lot of some people have a lot of interest in property. So make sure you stay logged in. Welcome, Sumit, to my show.
Thank you, Darshana, for having me here. It's my pleasure to be part of this show.
So, Sumit, I believe I've seen you have such a huge profile that it's hard for me to remember. But you're a property surveyor, you're RICS, and you've written lots of books. So, tell me
That's
more
right.
about what you do, because I need more clarity. So does the
Okay.
audience.
Yeah. So by profession, I'm a property surveyor, but I do a lot more than what one can expect from a property surveyor. So I run a surveying practice being a surveyor. I'm also a property investor. I have like a paralegal company which also deals with quite a few legal paperwork, serving notices, drafting out contracts, and also we source properties for our investor clients as well. So, like we do run like this multiple businesses, uh, but it's all like everything around property. Even the books, mostly what I've written, almost 90% of my books are written on a property investment.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what does this RICS mean? RICS. I
Oh,
am keen to
so
know what that means.
okay. So those who have a first time hearing this RSA's full form is Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyor. This is the world's leading institute that recognizes the professionals in property, land, and construction. And I'm proud to say that I'm one of the RSA's registered valuer who is also into the property investment, who has also got a background of chartered accountancy because I studied a finance chartered accountancy first. So I'm good in finance, tax planning. Then I studied survey. So I'm good in, understanding the building from foundation to the roof. And I've studied property law. I fought over hundreds of cases in court, tribunal, high court, upper tribunal.
Yeah, I
So
saw your
probably
profile.
I'm probably one of the most multi-skilled and highly educated property surveyor you usually will find in UK.
Yeah, I've seen you have accountancy, financial knowledge plus taxation knowledge and RIC. So all that combined, you must be leading a very busy life.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, it's my passion actually. Like I always had this interest right from the beginning. Like when I was a child, my parents used to say, I used to love making houses with the sand and the mud, and I never thought maybe that time that was basically, my main passion was. But as I started growing, and then I studied finance, but still I was having more interest because I worked for a Standard Chartered and HSBC Bank, but it was in the mortgages. So I was mostly always related to the real estate businesses. And then I found property was something which is more creative than the finance itself. So I thought maybe I'll study more and more. So I started studying more, and I've got now almost 5 certified qualifications in real estate.
Right. So, I have also sometimes very busy days. Today, like whole day, I was busy. I was
Hmm.
mentoring. I was doing mentoring today.
Great. What was it? I mean, what exactly do you mentor?
So, we have a charity, a foundation, and
Uh-huh.
we have volunteers there. And I
Great.
was mentoring the volunteers. And
Oh, that's great.
it it was like a whole day session, and that's why we are running. Normally, my show is at 8 p.m., but because the
Okay.
session continued, and then there were some question answer sessions, and then there were some meetings, so that's why I'm running late today.
Now I got it why.
So I believe you also mentor people. So I would like to know, and the audience would like to know, what do you mentor people about?
Amit, so basically, I also mentor in many fields. So mostly, like most of my businesses are also done in a way that they solve or address someone's problem. Mostly, what I've noticed is people have three types of problem: either health related, or finance or wealth related, or their relationship issues like husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, in-laws, and all. So
Brother,
I
sister,
normally have,
brother,
yeah,
sister,
brother, sister. It could be anything. Yeah.
property matters.
Property management. So what I've done is I've got this training academy, which is Property Expert Academy, Success Resources Ventures, which deals with like all of those type of things. And also I'm a volunteer of one of the charity called Art of Living. So I cover all these problems. So like we do teach people health, wealth, or relationship issues like life coaching. So I mean, I believe in order to succeed and speed your journey, or to grow your development faster, you need somebody to mentor you. Otherwise, on your own, you can still learn many things, but then it will take you longer. And the best way and the smartest people always do is that's why you will find all the athletes, big businessmen, and all. They always have somebody to mentor them.
Can't hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
now I can.
Okay. Right. Yeah, it was freezed for a minute, I believe. Yeah. So I
Hmm.
was just saying, just to repeat that mostly you'll see all the athletes, sports people, or the businessmen. They all have a mentor in their life because that's why they can grow much faster in their life.
Right. So, in terms of mentoring with property,
Hmm.
you have a YouTube channel and you're
Yes, yes.
quite active on it. Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah. So I have a YouTube channel called Property Expert Academy. It's just like an aim to help people out, especially many times people have the basic questions that they want really somebody to address. So I have decided that, through YouTube, whatever time I get, within a week, I just make one or two video out and then I'll just publish that on our YouTube channel. So people can still see those videos in their own time or when they need help.
Yeah. So, if people want to sort of consult you about property, of course they can consult you. But do you mentor a specific about properties?
Yes, yeah. So this Property Expert Academy, which is a training institute, we have like a various training program, like 3 days of master class. Then we have a 12 weeks result oriented where it's like more hand holding, and then we have a whole 12 months mentoring session as well that we do. So it depends on each stage. Like, so for example, if we have like a three different type of products, like DIY, which is like this books, if you see, so you can just buy any of my books, go on my YouTube channel or watch one of my, online training program. So which is do it yourself. And then we have a done with you service where you come into a workshop. These days we do live online. So you join our online workshop from a comfort of your home, and then you learn basically with us. And then we have a done for you product, which is like completely hand free. So like say somebody just like to say, Sumit, here is my money. I just want to invest. You find me a deal, and then just so we have those done for you services.
Yeah.
So if somebody like to join, of course, the mentoring program, they can contact our Property Expert Academy, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Mm. So how amazing is that? You do it
Yeah.
ready-made for you who want to, you don't have that much time or,
Excuse
do
me.
it,
Yeah.
and also you can
Hmm.
train people. So that's beautiful. That's a really, that's why I said multi-talented. Sumit is indeed multi-talented. But my question is, in one of your YouTube videos,
Hmm.
I saw that. You mentioned in the video that it's not necessary that you need to have a huge finance. It's not necessary that you have to have a lot of money to buy property. You
Hmm.
teach them how to buy properties, I mean, with zero finance or with very little finance.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
can you tell us a bit more about what this is? Because I'm keen to
Yeah.
know how to buy property without having that initial investment, because I
Yeah.
believe for buying property, you do need that certain investment. So, can you tell
Yes.
us a bit more about this?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So I'll discuss a little more, and then of course we do cover a lot of things in our workshop. But let's say some of the very uh, easy strategies which people can do, and these are not just new; they are been going on for many. many years, people were using it into various other fields, like purchase lease option is one of the strategy. So what you do in purchase lease option is basically uh, the option. First of all, let's understand what is option. Option is the right to buy, but no obligation. So you can tie somebody into a contract with as low as £1. That's legally, uh, I mean, £1 is what legally required to bind any contract.
£1. Am I
Just
hearing it
£1.
correct?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Maybe you can buy a coffee
You're
for
not
that
going
pound.
to change your
You can't buy a
statement,
coffee.
right?
Yeah. So £1 is basically that, down payment or whatever you say, commitment money. So that's the way, like, you basically, let's say, for example, you come across a property deal, you can simply agree terms of that contract, or like you can agree a end date and the agreed date. So for example, let's say if a property worth 500,000, you can say, okay, fine, I'll buy it for 500,000. And then normally what happens is, like, in the property business, the maximum money that we make is by solving problems. And then problem you can still solve by controlling a property. You don't really have to acquire it, right? So now what happens, let's say you buy a property with 500,000, and with the 500,000, basically you're only putting £1 as a contract that I'll buy this 500,000 property in, let's say, 2 years or 3 years time. Now you have exchanged, or you have done that agreement. Now within that 2 or 3 years time, you can add a lot of value. You can do extension, you can make it more appealing, refurbish it to the highest standard, and then maybe reconfigure the whole layout. Many things that can be done internally by increasing square footage, by changing the purpose of it. Let's say commercial property can be converted into residential, and many things more. Or a single family house can be split into like HMO, 5-6 bedroom HMO. So once, let's say that 500,000 pound worth of property maybe worth in 2 to 3 years time 7 to 800. By the time you also add value, effectively speaking, then you can just simply acquire by using that the safety pot that you built in 2 to 3 years time. So you don't even need that deposit. That's
And
one of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so all this is legal, and you will have the
Yes.
name, the property, your name will be there on the property.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So this is normally this done by through a solicitors. So you have, this is called the purchase lease option. So this gives you the right to purchase a property at a certain time at a certain price. And this is, this is also, you can register with the land registry. So which means nobody can just cheat. And then is normally two solicitors are involved. I will always suggest, because people sometimes try and save that money, but no point of just saving that small fee there. But hire professional solicitors, let the solicitor exchange the contract, or like exchange the whole contract together by literally paying. Physically they do transfer £1 from buyer to seller, and that makes the whole contract viable, enforceable, and then you can register with the land registry.
So if someone in the audience wants to have this deal with you, then you have your team ready of solicitors, and you will help them from the start
Yes.
till the end to complete whatever is needed to do.
Yes. So we have our core team, of course, since we are in property business for almost 20 years. So we have a solicitor, surveyor, mortgage broker, accountant. So we always work together with them. So whenever we have a deal, and also many of our students now, whoever we are mentoring and all, they always have access to our power team. We call them power team. So it's always the best to have their team together.
Yes, that's great. So I see that I can see a lot of books there. So you have written a couple of books as well.
Yeah, I've written half a dozen of books actually
half a
on
dozen.
property. Half a dozen. Yeah, you may see 3 of them probably here. Yeah, they are also available on Amazon. Some of them are on other platforms. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
which is the best one? What would you recommend if somebody is new into this property and they
in
want
property
to?
business, so this one is probably the best. This is how to make money. The ultimate guide to property investment. This is on second edition currently, because this applies anywhere. So it doesn't matter whether you are in UK or elsewhere. You can still use these strategies anywhere in the world. I basically explained 10 best property investment strategies that has been used by many investors and had made millions of pounds in property business using those strategies. They are very well proven. They're very well used by all the top property professionals.
So, of course, you probably guess my next question. So it's during this COVID time, what do you think in these times Is it a good time to buy or is it good time to sell? I mean, is it buyer's market or is it seller's market? What is your advice to our audience?
Yeah, I mean, so of course there are a lot of news in the market which people are aware as well, that there is like there's RSS research which was saying that the market is supposed to go down, because I'm an RSS surveyor, so we do get like regular update that is supposed to be 5 to 10%. But having said that, the market, what I've noticed in last couple of months, also in fact the market recently has shown there is a mini boom. It's not huge, but 0.5% above ever since lockdown. And now that's one thing, and then other is like, as you may have heard Warren Buffett saying, be fearful when everybody is greedy and be greedy when everyone else is fearful. So this is the best time, when people are much fearful or they're not certain what to do. This is the best time when you can make money. Even the last recession that we had in 2008 and all, uh, many companies or many property investors has made money during that time. I mean, when they started investing in, or like in that period, whatever they've invested has grown the maximum basically.
Right.
So it's always
Because
the best time. I mean, being a property investor, I always say, whatever you say the best time is, the the second best time is definitely now. So you should not wait for any longer. Get onto the property ladder as soon as possible. And other thing I will also say, there is another thing I always say that, property, what I'm saying is from an investment point of view. In my view, when you buy a house for you to live in, that's not an asset. In my definition, that's a liability. So any property that basically takes the money out of your property or out of your pocket is a liability. So of course, if you're looking to buy as an investor, then yes, by all means, go ahead and buy it. Even if you're buying the property where you want to live in, but you had that investment hat on, you have already checked the number will work well, then yeah, buy. But if you're buying with emotion that, I want to live in, or like you want to buy a palace in this time, or like, so do not go and spend too much money on your own, consumable assets. So if it is your own house, then do not just try and go buy the bigger one, I would say. But of course, buy commercial properties, buy other properties, even residential one as well. But commercial are really doing quite well nowadays, and there are many reasons why one should invest in commercial property. But then, as long as you're buying from an investment point of view, is always best.
right. So, what about selling property? I mean, there are some times that people have no choice. Economy is going down. In December, we are having Brexit. March is the financial year and expecting a lot of changes. In terms of all of this, if somebody is in a situation where they have to sell, would you advise them to sell or would you advise them to wait for 1 or 2 years? What is your best advice?
Yeah, I would advise them to wait. I mean, of course, as long as they, if they can hold it, is always best. And also, I normally tell people, if they're investor, uh, because I'm saying if you're a property investor, because if you hold it longer, you hold it, the more money you make. Because as soon as you sell, there are many things like CGT in case if it is your investment property, and there are other joint venture deal you can do as well
Just
other than
lost
sale.
you. We just lost you for a few seconds.
How is it? Yeah,
After
sorry. I think maybe
after
it's
CGT, I couldn't hear you.
yeah. I'm saying so. CGT is one of the things that and I mean, if you're an investor, you're selling an investment property, and if you're making a gain, you will pay capital gain tax. So that's one of the things. But then there are many things more than just selling you can do. So if you can hold, if you really have capacity to hold a property, then do hold it, not to sell.
Right. And in terms of, there is like because of COVID, their properties are on rent, and sometimes there are
Mhm.
landlords who have difficult tenants, and because of
Right.
this time they are unable to evict them. So
Uh,
then, what are the current rules? And if you really have to get rid of a tenant, what
mhm.
is the procedure? If you could tell us in brief, and do you deal with it?
Yeah, we have a paralegal company that deals with the tenant eviction. So mostly like you evict a tenant on two grounds, Section 8 and Section 21. Section 8 is for default on rent and they are too much in arrears, at least more than 2 months or 8 weeks if it is a weekly tenancy. Or Section 21, which is known as like no default eviction process. So you can also hire one of our company paralegal, which is green consultant, and they are very much doing this such since 21 year and 8 to evict the tenant.
Yeah. But because of this COVID and the
Mm.
current situation and the economy, people have lost jobs. So,
Yes.
it's really not fair to evict tenants. So, what are the tenancy rights during these times? So would you
I
share
mean,
with?
of course. So yes. So it's the best time if you feel you need to assess each tenant on its own. So let's say if somebody is really living in your property for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then yeah, certainly, and then there is a genuine, there's a genuine reason why they can't pay now. You got to work with them somehow, like, and also I feel that as a property investors, we are not just making money from the rental. Of course, rental is just fueling the system, but most of the money that you make it is by adding value, refinancing it, which is the bigger chunk, especially when you are in London and the around surrounding area, because your capital growths are the main profit that you make. And if you, as long as you can work with your tenant, like give them some time to pay, give them some compensation relief, so that there is a space for breathe in. If they can breathe, I mean, they have that much markup. So at some point, of course, if their intention was good, they'll definitely pay you at some point. And
Yeah,
also I think there are government also helping them. So the government has given a lot of people grant, some supports and all that. So I think they can always go and approach that council as well. And in many cases where they are council tenants, of course, you can also approach council directly that your tenant cannot pay the money, and when they are more than 13 weeks in arrears, you can demand directly to the council that you pay us directly. So that can be possible as well. So there are few arrangement one can make, but I would say assess each tenant on their own credibility.
yeah. And of course, at this time, if we can't show compassion or kindness and,
Yeah.
that extra support to people who are in our network, then,
Yeah.
we have missed the point of this. We haven't learned anything from COVID. At
Yes,
least
true.
that is what is my take on this. Some questions are coming in because, I put it on my
Yes, sure.
Facebook that you're a property consultant, and
Oh,
some questions are coming in just
sure.
on my mobile and
Yes.
text this. So somebody is asking, for first-time landlords,
Mhm.
what difficulties do they face, and what guidance would you give them?
Yeah, so the first time landlord, I would say, like normally what happens, imagine, like I'll give you example. Let's say, you know, if you're driving a car and you have not learned how to drive a car. So what you'll do, you'll keep crushing the other cars and probably hundreds of cars. And by the time you crash the 100 car, you will have that balance. But then other way of doing that is you get a license, learn from someone how to drive a car, and then once you get a license, then you go out and drive. So first thing I would say, to those first time investor, go out and learn the skills of how to invest in property. The education is the one of the biggest thing. Second is networking. Go out and find other like-minded people who are also investing in property. Network with them. There are many network meeting happens. Even we are doing nowadays virtually. Every last Saturday of every month, we do a property investors meetup. So anybody, and we kept it free currently in this difficult time, so anybody can just join free. So they can also learn from other people's, the things that are not going well, the things that are going well. So the things that are going well, they can do more and more in their property journey. The things that are not going well, they should stop doing those things. So it's just about that, basically education and being in the right company.
So, my audience, can they connect with you, and you
Yes,
please share
definitely.
your websites and links of your books, so that they can be in touch
Yes.
with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love to serve you. And of course, so you can find me first on the Facebook, which is Sumit Gupta page, and a lot of links may be there. Of course, what I think this, you're going to put this one on Facebook, isn't it? Somewhere on.
We are
So
live now on
yeah.
Facebook.
Okay, great. So what we'll do at the end, I'll send you all the links and I'll post under that video itself, so people can
Actually, I
just.
have tagged you, so you can please post whatever are your important links. And
Okay.
audience, please connect with Sumit. We all at certain points do need property advice, and it's
It
better
will
to,
be my pleasure.
have an expert who has experience in this field, So that way we feel comfortable. And main with property, I feel you need to have that peace of mind. Otherwise, if you are constantly worried, if you make your own decisions, if you don't take an expert advice, then you'll constantly be worried. So this is a good opportunity to contact with Sumit. And other than that, there could be more questions, which, my last time also we had a guest who was a Vedic astrologer. A lot of people text me, a lot of people sent me private
Mhm.
messages on Facebook, a lot of people put comments on the video. So, as usual, if you have any more questions, Sumit is available. I have tagged him. You can ask him directly, or you can ask me directly, and I'll go and make sure that we reach out to all of you in reasonable time and answer your questions. And Sumit, lovely talking to you.
It was my pleasure as well, Darshana, to have on this, your show. And yeah,
I, yeah.
I'll be happy to help anyone if they need. We'll drop our emails. You can go on our YouTube channel. You can find my Facebook groups. You can, of course, find a lot of support on our Facebook groups. And by all means, if you need anything, do drop me a message or email.
So thank you, Sumit. It was a wonderful conversation, and thank you, audience, for being with me. I hope you're enjoying my chat shows. And this was supposed to be for only 7 Sundays, but a lot of you have requested to be a guest on my show. So I'm truly, truly honored, and I'm pleased to inform you that I'm fully booked till November, and then more bookings are in the process. So Sunday, 8 p.m. we meet every Sunday, and different guests every time. If you have any comments or suggestions for this show, please get in touch with me. Please share this video so that more people can get information about property, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. And stay in touch, stay safe. We meet again next Sunday, and we have a wonderful guest. His name is Marcel, and he's a meditation teacher. As probably a lot of you know, meditation is very close to my heart. I love to meditate. If I don't meditate, I don't eat. And I'm sure all of you are doing meditation as well. So please continue being safe, being healthy, meditating. And next week, we welcome Marcel. Please join me next Sunday, 8 p.m. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you for being with me. It's always a pleasure to connect with you. Take care. Bye now. Bye. Bye, Sunil.
Bye.